all the doubters, keep doubting. I will turn the non-believers into believers. One by one, you guys will all be fans. And tune in November 22nd.
I done came a long way. Pray to God these dollars in my pocket never go away. I can't relate.
They said it's Photoshop. They said this shit Photoshop.
Do that look Photoshop?
They said it's Photoshop.
Fight week, less than 6 days, 7 days. Norman, do that look Photoshop? You in trouble.
Yeah, let me be great. Let's get right to it. I was down bagging low. Rest said hit a play, let's do it. Buy a little stuff for the low. Then I said the price high, then move it. Never give up, lose hope. Always think I can do it. Got lick, get smoke. Yeah, run right through it. What you wanna back to me for? You think I'm doing it for? Yeah, I know it ain't you anymore. Something new right on the side, I got to do it for. Better not come around wasting time, better wait till it's for. Ride.
Debo! Sharp shit.
Devin Haney looks good and strong, and a lot of people have been talking about Devin Haney's physique, but they don't understand that Devin Haney is acquiring the missing pieces, and he's doing what it takes to fortify his frame. That's something that he always needed to do. That's what a lot of fighters need to do. That's what Shakur Stevenson need to do. Lacking on the strength and conditioning, it's something that is completely missing in boxing. I don't know what's going on. I was watching an interview with Breadman, and they was talking about Caleb Plant, and he was talking about him gassing and stuff like that. And I'm like, we always knew that about Caleb Plant, but if that's one of his weaknesses where he gasses, then why don't they work on strength and endurance with Caleb Plant? It's just certain elements when it comes down to boxing. It breaks down to nutrition and athletic ability to a certain degree. Like I said, it's a lot of components moving in it. But when it comes to Devin Haney, this is where he was lacking, the frame, fortifying the frame and getting some power behind him. If you listen to my earlier videos, I'm not here to give any fight analysis, nothing like that. We've already been through that. But if you listen to my earlier videos, I talked about what he need to pull this off. I said he needs another wrinkle in his game. And he's going to need some power. He's going to need some straight up strength. He's going to need to be strong, like not just generating power, but strong, period. And one of the ways you do that is you got to fortify that frame. A lot of guys need to fortify their frame. Like I said, Wilder's one of those guys that need to fortify his frame because he generates too much power, but his frame couldn't handle it. So therefore he kept breaking his hand and all that other stuff, But a lot of that stuff can be subsided with strength training and all that stuff. And all that stuff, strength training, lifting weights, all that stuff draws calcium into the bone, which fortifies the frame. But anyways, when you're talking about his physique, this is what he needs. This is what he needs to be looking like. And he looks good and strong. Now, as far as his durability, as far as chin and stuff like that, like I said, that's why when we was breaking it down, I said, it's not enough data. But one thing that we can say, even though that was strategic in his last fight when he was doing the ring around Rosie, this is the thing. If what Ryan Garcia did to him didn't have an effect, you wouldn't have seen that type of game plan in that type of fight. Okay, that type of game plan was implemented because of what happened in the last fight. Now, if in the last fight with Ryan Garcia, it didn't affect him, then they wouldn't have implemented that type of game plan because it wasn't crowd pleasing and they knew that. So they was just trying to safely pull off a win. Why? Because they was cautious of what? Exactly. It leads to the obvious. Okay. They're worried, they're concerned. There is something there. Now, is that still going to be prevalent on fight night with Brian Norman Jr.? I mean, we don't know. Like I said, we don't have enough data. That fight was supposed to help us see that, but we didn't get to see that because of the game plan. Some say masterful, but boring, but yet and still, it's just to pull off a win. It's just to stay in the game. And you got cheated. Like I said, I didn't knock it. But now, you seeing Devin Haney acquire the pieces that he needs, and he needs to build that body up, because it's not like Devin Haney is a small guy. So, he should be, have more power than that. You know, he's a little bit older now, you know, he's thickening out, you know, legs is thickening up. And that's always a sign of strength and power and generating power and stuff like that. And that's exactly what he needs. Now, when it comes to Brian Norman Jr. and what he has to implement and what he got going on when it comes to fighting Devin Haney, well, you know, those are a whole different set of dynamics.
He's not a real man, as that right there. I'm gonna say he watched too much TV, watched too many movies, and he's not his own human. No, he's definitely try to mimic other guys as well.
Steal quotes and stuff.
You trying to steal quotes, brother? I want y'all to play them tapes back with Floyd saying everything this man saying. What you just said, Floyd, that's his main guy that he tried to mimic. I look at Floyd for the hustle he put in. He know for a fact that when he had the real deal dig deep, he know he got that. Devin Haney, can he dig deep? Knockout of the decade, knockout of boxing in general. You get what I'm saying? So, Devin Haney, you now a part of that list. You now a part of my resume. You now a part of my story. This is just another chapter in my book. Now, after this, let me turn the page and keep this ball rolling.
Yeah, want it. I do it however I want it. Just pass me the ball and I run it. Yeah, I do it however I want it. Want it. Want it, yeah, want it. I do it however I want it. Just pass me the ball and I run it. Yeah, I do it however I want it. Want it, want it, want it, want it. Feel like a big dog, all in the wrist, dog. Chris Paul, never been this raw, Tick tock, I'm Mr. Big Shot, fresh out the zip lock. You know they stressin', I pull up and stretch them. I'm counting these points up and counting my blessings. Feel like I'm running the court. If we talking about ballin', ain't walking and taking my time. I treat the game like a sport. If he talking, I'm all on my.
Well, he can shut down every narrative about the left hook. I will let him have that because I will put him to sleep with the right hand instead. I'm just going out there being myself, and I just so have to be good at it.
I do it however I want it.
Nah, I'm loving it and I appreciate all of it.
Just
but
pass me the ball and I run
all of that's cool. But this is where the real fans come in at. After Saturday when I come put this ball in the dirt. There is no such thing as if. I am going to do that.
I do it however I want it. Just pass me the ball and I run it.
So you had an amazing knockout recently, right? You tagged it as knockout of the decade. Should your fans bet on the knockout come November 22nd?
Hey, I got two judges right here in the palm of my hand, so I don't trust no judges at all except myself.
Now, Brian Norman Jr. is another athlete that's in great shape himself. You know what he's done to his last couple opponents. You know that he has great power. Like I said, just like Devin, we went over all this before, you know, with the fight breakdown and whatever. Now comes the interesting part about this whole scenario. Not only do we not have enough data, but also there's another element in play here. And it's the element that's always left out. But it's one that we're going to get to analyze up under the bright lights. And one thing that we all admit, when Brian Norman Jr. got in front of a camera, Brian Norman Jr. felt like not just a breath of fresh air, but almost a breeze from the past with the way he carries himself and the way he talks and with the conviction that he has. He has become a fan favorite just being himself, just being a real fighter. And with that being said, I have to say this. I believe Brian Norman Jr. has the stronger character than Devin Haney. I know Devin Haney got the tools. This is a favorite fight for Devin Haney. Devin Haney should be able to take care of the job, but because of those elements and things that we have talked about in the previous videos, coupled with this, you know, that puts a different, it puts a different twist on it because he has everything, but we need to know about that up top. And when that character comes in, a lot of people don't understand how character plays the role in fighting, but it plays a role whether you're going to quit, you know what I'm saying, or whether you're going to get up off that stool. You know, I can't go into all the mental dynamics and how that plays a role and how does that, you know, feeds other aspects of fighting. But the whole point is that part, well, we know Devin got the heart. You know, we know that he's brave enough, but can you take it when it's really tough? And how you going to perform when it gets really ugly? Can you stick in there? That's where character comes in. Okay. And the stronger person with the stronger character wins. That's how it goes. You know, usually, you know what I'm saying? Boxing's a funny sport because it's so corrupt. But I say that because when I see Devin, I see a person who can't quite be himself. I understand why Bill Haney talks for him. I see a person that also mimics other people. It's no secret. And even I can see that he mimics Tank to a certain degree. Everything he does, the tattoos, even the dress. And when he started wearing that chain wallet thing, you know what I'm saying? Whatever. I know he was jocking Tank because Tank was the only one that I was seeing doing that, you know, and it's like he can't be himself. He can't be his own man. And there's a problem there. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of the same problem that Anthony Joshua got or has, you know, all that fake fronting, stoic man and all that stuff. But he's burying his true self underneath because his true self has flaws. His true self feels anger. His true self feels jealousy. You know, his true self feels envy. We all get a little taste of it here and there, but it's our job as men to control it. That's what makes us truly different from women. That's the definition of a man. One who can control his emotions. I don't care what any other definition anybody have ever told you, because that is the stark opposite of a woman who's ruled by emotion. So if a woman is ruled by emotion, the definition of a man is one who can control his emotions. So when it comes to those certain things and copying people and not being able to be yourself, you're only burying who you really are underneath, and eventually you're going to crack, you know, which is why he's saved from a lot of that, because his father does a lot of the talking, and that's smart, and that's how it's supposed to be. But it's a crack there, you know, and they always tell you boxing is a mental game, but they don't really tell you how. For those that don't know, you know, this is how. All right. And I just believe Norman got the stronger character, you know. Now, I would feel a little bit different about Devin, but Devin didn't give me the data. He didn't give me the fight that I needed. I didn't see him in another tight spot to say, OK, that was just that, or that's this, or no, he's really affected. Oh, no, this is really a thing. He didn't give us that information. So that's what makes this fight so fucking interesting. This could be a straight up 50-50. This could be 60-40. You know what I'm saying? I'm saying 60-40 with the favor of Devin Haney. And I say that because Brian Norman Jr. has looked good in his last few fights. But before then, you know, he's never really been nothing super spectacular. So I have to go with the man who's consistently shelled out good performances. So the odds say that you have to roll with Devin. But at the same time, you don't have the data you need. And these two guys are young. That's the best thing about this. They're young. Let me say that again. That's the best thing about this fight. They're young. And take notes. If this is going to be a war, guess what? These dudes are young enough to recover from whatever they do inside that ring on Saturday. That's why boxing is a young man's sport. These dudes be waiting to have wars in their fucking 30s. That's the fucking problem. They don't step the fuck up. So hats off to these two dudes, because you know what? This is a fighters fight. All the fighters are interested in this fight. Look how they all chiming in on it. You know what I'm saying? I know Dave Benavidez Yard, but really? Devin Haney. For sure. This is a fighters fight. All the fight fans, you know what I'm saying? Even the fighters, they're all looking at this fight. You know, you haven't felt this kind of energy behind this fight in a while. I wish I could say I had the same thing for Crawford, but that had a different type of feel, a different type of a dynamic. You had that with the Crawford and Spence fight. This is kind of like the same thing. When, you know, you got two young guys at their peaking, you know what I'm saying, with the whole world laid out in front of them. And, you know, with that who's going to run this town tonight mentality, that's what gives that electric feeling in the air. Feel like something big going to go down on Saturday, don't it? Well, that's what happened when the best fighting the best. You got to thank Brian Norman Jr. and you definitely got to thank Devin Haney. But y'all don't like people like Devin Haney, which means y'all don't like things like this. So meaning you don't like feeling this electricity and boxing and stuff like this. You like that Jake Paul bullshit. I'm just saying, like, comment, subscribe. Bruce Vane, I'm out.
I done came a long way. Pray to God these dollars in my pocket never go away. I can't relate, cause all of y'all be acting fake.